The TFX Color function is found within the Built-ins tab and the Functions tab. On the left-hand side, there's a TFX folder. So within that, we can find our TFX Color, and this is going to work the same way as our other text effects, and that will need a font. So let's drag a font down, and let's reposition this and scale it up a little bit so that we can see it. And I'm going to go back into my built-ins, grab the TFX Color function, and drag this down onto our font. I'm going to click on the TFX Color to go into the editor, and it looks just like the other ones in that we have a progress percentage. But before we adjust the progress percentage, what we'll want to do is come down here and choose a color begin and a color end. So I want my color to begin, let's say we'll make it blue, and our color end, let's say we'll make it yellow. Now that I have my two colors set, I'm going to come back up to the very top to the progress percentage, and again, we're going to set it at 0, and we'll rewind our timeline to 0, and we'll set a keyframe, and then we'll advance this up to 100%. So when I advance it, you can see how the color changes. I'm going to set another keyframe, and then when I hit play, you can see that our color changes from this color blue that we set to this color yellow that we have set. And again, we have our same settings as the other text effects settings. So we have our progress type, absolute and relative. By default, set to absolute. We can change our direction here. It's set to normal by default, but we can go to opposite. When we do that, it goes from right to left. We can go to random, which just does it randomly. We have a static, which will do the whole word itself. We have a wave, which will fly through each individual character. We have a center, which goes out from the center, and a to center, which comes into the center. We also have an effect range here, so this adjusts the range of the font. So by the time the 5th character comes on, the 1st character may be changing. Changing this effect range can change the amount of what the character range is. There's a random seed here, so if we adjust this, this only works with the random setting up in our direction. So if we have the direction set to random, we can adjust this random seed to adjust the setting for that. There's also ignore space, ignore line, which works with the relative. And the way the relative works is that if we come back into our text function here and we add some more text here, and if we come back to our text effects color, set it back to normal, and hit play, since we only have adjusted to 100%, it's only going to affect a certain number of characters. If we have it set to relative, we need to adjust this progress percentage higher, and then it will affect however many characters you have on your text line. So with this ignore space on and ignore new line, it takes into account the spaces and the number of words that you have in the line. If you have multiple lines of text, then it's going to account for this ignore new line as well. So let's change it back to absolute. We're on normal, and we also have a text order down here. It's set to as is by default. We can change it to horizontal. When we change it to horizontal, we also have this option for text direction, which is left to right or right to left. And we can also change it to vertical. When we change it to vertical, we have an up to down or a down to up setting. Now in our color, we also have the option for HSV, so we can choose the hue, saturation, or value, and we also have a color picker. So when we select this color picker and move our mouse around the screen, we can choose a color from within the screen. So if we wanted an orange color, we could select this right here in our icon, and we get this orange color.